What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So one of the things I want to discuss is inflation. Inflation is going to be the key, and according to multiple lawmakers, not just today, but throughout the past couple of weeks, they've all said the same thing, is inflation is what we need to be looking at. And this past week, we saw our inflation. The rate jumped to 7%. Many expect it's going to be higher than 7% over the next couple of months. So the discussions lately within Congress have actually been pretty simple. And according to many, they're saying that we need to address inflation through the Build Back Better Act. So, according to reports, the next stimulus package could see a bunch of changes. And these changes will be based on demand and what this would actually do to our economy and provide for the American people. So here's what I can tell you. In the past, Democrats have said that we must pass the Build Back Better Act, that it is something that has to be done. And some took it as we need to pass this because it's going to be better for the American people. But the way many experts are saying it is that Democrats need to pass it for them, because for their agenda, because of what they promised for the midterm elections, it has to be passed. Here's what I know. They have said that the Build Back Better Act would actually put more money into the people's pockets. They said it wouldn't cause additional inflation. Just so you know, okay, and this is, I think this is interesting that we bring it up now, but even Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she stated the exact same thing multiple times. Even when she was being questioned, along with the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, they both stated that yes, or okay, I don't want to say he stated, but he wasn't too worried about inflation because he said it was transitory at the time. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen stated the Build Back Better Act wouldn't cause additional inflation, but looking at now, it would cause additional inflation. So here's where we stand as of right now. Democratic Senator Tim Kaine, he's actually from Virginia, he was asked today if the Build Back Better Act was dead, and he had this to say. And I quote, "You're right that it's dead. The most recent version of it is not going to happen. But if you look at the core of the bill, I think the core is education and workforce and things like reduced childcare and education expenses, workforce training, and then support for the workforce in areas like healthcare." So that was one of the things he said. And he went on to say this. There are other pieces of the bill that are more controversial. I still believe we're going to find a core of this bill, whatever we call it. We're going to find a core of the bill and pass it, and it will deal directly with some of these inflation concerns. And he ended this with saying this. I think we have to go into the Build Back Better bill and do the core provisions that reduce costs for Americans. We will help people out in every zip code in this country. So what does this mean? This isn't a new statement. Maybe it's a newer one for him. Yes, this just happened this morning is when he said it. But this, the kind of the discussions behind this, that's not new. That's exactly what Democrats have been saying, is we need to provide assistance to every single person in this country. But according to multiple reports, moderates say no, we do not need to provide additional assistance and help people in every single zip code of this country. We need to provide assistance to pockets, specific groups of people. That's the key. So here's what we're going to look for, okay? This is what this means. We need to look for things that are going to lower the cost or increase income. So what in this Build Back Better Act did that? We know child tax credits, that is still a very big hit amongst Democrats and Republicans, and it increases income to lower income households. Okay. We could reduce child care. That's going to help out families. All right. What about student debt forgiveness? This is a big one. This is one that many expect if we are trying to do what Democrats are saying, and that's not cause additional inflation. But at the same time, we need to provide for certain pockets of people who didn't get a lot of assistance. Well, some are saying that People with college students didn't get a lot of assistance. Maybe college students didn't, but people with student debt did. They didn't have to make payments for almost 2 years. They're still not having to make a payment. So the discussions on student debt forgiveness, that's going to be big. That's going to help out a lot of people. But at the same time, is it the right assistance that we need to spend, or the right funding and the right way to spend this money? We don't know. We'll see. We also know expanding Medicare is a big one. This is something that Senator Bernie Sanders says has to be included. He also says lowering prescription drug medication prices has to be in here. This has to be in here if they want his support. So this is still something that is being discussed. When you look on Twitter, you go and watch these interviews, you may not see Senator Bernie Sanders go and address every single issue. And he doesn't do that, and he's very, I think, strategic on doing that, depending on who he's talking to, depending on what's the big discussion at that point. He's very focused on that. So I think in that case, you may think, oh, he forgot about all these other provisions and all, whatever progressives are wanting. That's not the case. It's just he's very strategic about talking about just what he's there for. So I know a lot of people look at that and be like, well, he hasn't talked about this. It must not be a priority. Well, according to him, it's still a priority. But what we know is inflation is the key. And multiple lawmakers have said the exact same thing. And even when I asked you guys, a couple months ago, even a few weeks ago, I asked you, what items are you still seeing increase in price? And actually, what are you seeing in your area? And here's a list of some of the things that I put together. Gas prices in December were falling. Everybody was excited about that. But recently, it's actually gone back up. We know AAA stated that gas hit a 7-year high back in November. Little Caesars, and I addressed this a couple weeks ago as well. Little Caesars, who has had the same $5 pizzas for the past 20-some years, they had to increase the price of their $5 pizza by 11%. It is now $5.55. We're also seeing that furniture is now more expensive than ever before. And the same thing, it's very hard to find. If you find a couch, well, you got to wait 3-6 months because, well, it's backordered. We're waiting for it. And even Target CEO stated that consumers are opting for more generic brands of products in order to ease the pain of inflation. And that's a big issue. And the reason I say that is because everybody has their kind of set products that they want. The Kellogg cereal, they want the specific type of bread, right? Specific brand. They want certain meats or milk, right? Ice cream. They want the DiGiorno pizzas. They don't want the generic Walmart brand, right? What Great Value or whatever it is. They don't want those. But that's the thing. People are changing. According to reports, Americans have more money saved up than ever before. Americans have less debt when we talk about credit card debt than in most cases. But the issue is they don't have anything to spend the money on. There's nothing out there. And so that's turning into a big concern from a lot of people is inflation is actually hurting our economy because some people don't want to spend money because what they want to buy isn't there. What they want to buy is not the right brand. It's not the right product, so they're going to wait. So, according to multiple reports, we are just going to wait and see what lawmakers decide to do. And lawmakers, according to experts, may not make a move until after the Federal Reserve decides to increase interest rates at least 2 times, which could be probably sometime in the summer before they do it the second time. And then they want to wait and see when the Federal Reserve decides to start selling off their assets. Once they do that, and we see inflation somewhat come down, we don't know how far, but once it starts to fall, then the expectation is lawmakers would most likely really push to see some form of the Build Back Better Act pass. But the issue is that could be in the summer or in the fall. In the fall, it's going to be too close to the midterm elections. It could be very difficult to get a bill passed. But we will see what happens. What I can tell you right now is they are not moving quick enough, and many people are extremely upset. So Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.